Fuck around, make my 40 pop.
Alright guys, just like the last episode of the Boruto anime, this episode right here was surprisingly good. Now, I originally thought that there would be no chance in hell, no chance at all, that a team of Inojin plus Kakashi would ever come close to catching Kashin Koji, but it turns out that I was a little bit wrong in this particular situation, but I was wrong for a very interesting reason. Of course, we're going to get into that a little bit more. Now, the biggest thing that we do have to anticipate, or the biggest thing that we do have to talk about in this particular episode, has to be Kashin Koji and Amado conspiring to actually take down Jigen. This right here is actually in chapter 44, I believe, which should have actually been adapted into the Boruto anime a couple of episodes ago, but now since we're actually starting to go back into the actual manga content, they actually did adapt it right here, which is a very, very good sign. But one thing that I definitely do want to point out, I mean, you just felt the shift in the episode, even though prior to this point the episode was very serious, because obviously whenever Kakashi is involved, it's not necessarily completely serious, but when Kakashi is involved with another serious character like Kashin Koji, it's serious. But this right here took a completely different turn. Everything looked crisp, everything looked smooth, even the voices sounded deeper, and this right here just tells me the fight that we're actually going to get to see between Kashin Koji and Jigen, it's going to look absolutely amazing. And even Jigen's shot right here, like, just look at it, bro, it looks absolutely amazing. And this right here is something that a lot of people have been talking about for a very long time. Whenever a person is first introduced, or whenever a thing is first introduced, man, because the carbon steel was like this, it doesn't look the greatest, but after a couple episodes they get it completely right. Jigen looked amazing, Kashin Koji looked amazing, Amado looked amazing, everything looked amazing. But regardless, we now find out who the actual traitor of the Kado organization actually was. It was Amado and Kashin Koji. Now this right here is something that Jigen himself was keeping an eye on for a very long time. If you guys don't necessarily recall, Jigen essentially wanted everybody to search for Kawaki because he wanted to actually see exactly who the traitor was. If you guys don't necessarily recall, he basically said, Kashin Koji, everybody search for Kawaki, but it turned out Jigen could have literally appeared in front of Kawaki whenever he wanted to because of Kawaki's karma seal. We found out about this when he appeared right in Naruto's living room. Now during those times, everybody had an idea that Kashin Koji was actually going to be the traitor, but no one really thought that Amado as well was going to be the traitor as well. Like, Jigen's right hand man, like literally right hand man, always by Jigen, Amado was literally not able to leave the Kado organization hideout. It turns out that he himself is actually turning against Jigen. So now we already know exactly what's supposed to happen in the next episode. It's setting up for a Jigen versus Kashin Koji battle. I'm pretty damn sure that Amado's not actually going to be able to fight Malum because he's not necessarily a ninja type. He's just a scientist at this particular point. Now getting into the Kakashi and the Kashin Koji situation, I think that Kashin Koji, he himself said it, he wasn't necessarily trying to extract information. That wasn't necessarily his goal. Honestly, he got swept up in being nostalgic. Now this right here goes into Kashin Koji's true identity. Now I can't necessarily talk about it, man, because I don't necessarily want to spoil everything, but this right here, for the manga people, I'm going to speak a little bit cryptic for a second. For the manga people, this right here could possibly mean that Kashin Koji has his memories. For example, it wouldn't necessarily be nostalgic for a person that had no recollection of the Hidden Leaf Village at all. And obviously we know that Kashin Koji is a part of the Hidden Leaf Village. Let's just point that out. That's for the anime owners out there. But regardless, we didn't necessarily know if he had memories of the Hidden Leaf Village. And now because he was saying that he was actually nostalgic and he got carried away with his emotions and feelings and stuff like that, that means that he actually does have his memories. But regardless, I'm pretty sure everybody just wants to talk about the Kashin Koji versus Kakashi battle. This right here was essentially mental gymnastics. Like, let's be honest, this rarely had anything to do with physical abilities. They were essentially just jousting and trying to feel each other out, and both of them gave each other credit. This right here was something that I didn't necessarily think was going to happen, and the last time that I did talk about this was in the preview, and I said that there was probably like a 10% chance that Kashin Koji was actually going to be caught. But then again, you could kind of make the argument that Kashin Koji probably wanted to be caught so he can get a little bit more nostalgic in the Hidden Leaf Village, but that's besides the point. And one of the things that I really wish would have actually happened was that this battle would have actually taken a little bit longer. I know, honestly, like, let's keep it 100. Kashin Koji probably has the ability to watch Kakashi, so because of that, they didn't necessarily want to have it drag out that much longer. And Kakashi even said it. He said that he'd be troublesome. He had a lot more tricks up his sleeves that he didn't necessarily show. Regardless, I'd still like to see Kakashi in action a little bit more, man, because we've really never gotten to see Kakashi in action without his Sharingan. Now, of course, we gotten to see a little bit, a little tiny bit, especially in the first 15 episodes where he was fighting against the New Way, and of course some other tiny battles against Academy student Boruto. Kakashi never really gotten into a serious battle without the Sharingan, so seeing him fight against a character like Kashin Koji, which probably he's not stronger than, would have still been a very nice sight, especially since now Kakashi has a lot of the chakra, so he can utilize the 1,000 jutsus that he did actually copy from the Sharingan. Turns out we didn't actually get that. The information that Kashin Koji did actually take, it turns out it's probably going to be a little bit helpful towards Kashin Koji and Amado in the next episode or in the episodes after that. This right here is something that's completely new. We didn't necessarily get to find out about this in the Boruto manga. This right here is something that we just found out about in the Boruto anime. Manga wise, we still don't even know how this right here could have possibly affected their actual plan, but the anime of course is going to tie it in somehow. Another interesting thing that happened towards the end of this episode is the fact that Shikadai kind of called out Kashin Koji and pretty much said that he might have actually been an old ninja, mainly because Kashin Koji was snooping around the information about old ninjas. During this episode, I was down, oh my gosh, Shikadai. I was thinking that nah, Shikamaru is completely smarter than Shikadai, but he completely, like, he came back from a 3-1 deficit, bro. Put it like that, because this man right here was absolutely spot on. I do want to know what you guys think about this episode in the comment section below, and of course the huge plot twist of Kashin Koji and Amado actually being the traitors of Jigen. Now Kashin Koji might not actually be a huge plot twist in the film, because this right here is something that a lot of people have actually assumed very early on, but Amado being a traitor as well, that right there is absolutely insane news. And of course, let me know what you guys think about Kakashi versus Kashin Koji in the comment section below. But it's being your boy Baara, and we out.
It's a knife.